Hi, this is Dr. Shrenik Shah. I'm a president of World Vegan Vision, formerly being known as Vegetarian Vision, started by visionary entity H.K. Shah and Malti Shah. This institution has been around for 25 plus years, bringing the message of veganism and non-cruelty to the media and to the people around the world. And now we are expanding, changing our names to World Vegan Vision, keeping in mind the ultimate advantage being with the vegan, which is an advancement towards the better health of the whole world and the cruelty on the animals.
In 2018, CDC came up with the data that for the first time, that South Asian communities are at a very high risk to have a diabetes and to have more complications because of diabetes. So how does this plant-based vegan diet can help people with diabetes?
So there are two steps to the question that you asked, and it's a very interesting question. One step is there is a link between milk and elevation of sugar, because if you realize and look at the slide that 40% of the milk's calories are nothing but lactose, and everybody knows lactose is sweet, and that's why that sweet taste that you find in the milk is from the lactose. And the lactose, when it goes in your body, it gets broken down by an enzyme called lactase into glucose and galactose. Glucose is pure blood sugar, and galactose is a glycoprotein that gets stored in your liver, and at the drop of a hat, every time the sugar is needed, it immediately converts into sugar. So there you go, 40% of the milk calories is going to turn into sugar. So definitely milk will raise your blood sugars. There are also other elements that some of the hormones in the milk are also known, especially the D-galactose enzyme, which is normally present in the milks of the cow, not even added hormones, has been linked with the type 1 diabetes. So there is some research going on that it might cause that. So there are a lot of issues. So this is the first step. There's a direct link between animal products and the diabetes. Plus, coming to the plant side, there is a word of caution that not all plant-based diet can be healthy, because especially if you eat concentrated carbohydrates. These complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates is sugar, we know. Complex carbohydrate is our chapati, bread, bagel, pasta, and bhakri, and roti, rice. All those things are complex carbohydrate. But these carbohydrates take time to get absorbed in your system. And the reason they are called complex, because they have to go through the series of digestive processes to become available to the blood. And the simple sugars are basically pure sugars. You eat candy or cookie or juice or something, it immediately gets absorbed into the blood as a sugar, right? So you will say, what's the difference? Ultimately, both of them ultimately raise your sugar. So whether you eat complex carbohydrate like roti or rice or corn or bajri or jowar, all these things ultimately go into the blood and raise your sugar. So if you really do the calculations, one roti is equal to 6.5 teaspoonful of sugar. So you have to be careful even on the plant-based diet, that even if you switch to plant-based diet, it's not the ultimate goal, the ultimate removal of the diabetes is going to happen. So one, yes, you have to switch to the plant-based diet, but in plant-based diet, you have to have a low carbohydrate.
Dr. Shah, besides diabetes, I'm sure plant-based vegan diet can help other diseases. Can you focus on those other diseases?
Well, I mean, the meat and dairy products have been closely linked with the cancers also. The meat has been declared as a carcinogen actually by World Health Organization, especially the processed meat like salami and ham and all those kind of meats have been linked with cancers. Milk has a lot of hormones, and the hormones have a potential to stimulate your cancer cells. One of the enzymes in the milk is called IGF-1, which is a neutral enzyme. But when it goes into the calf's body, it stimulates the sex centers. If the calf is a female, it has to become a cow. So the mother's natural milk itself containing the hormone will go into the calf's body, and it contains the IGF-1, and then it stimulates the centers, and the female calf becomes a cow. And the same thing happens. Being it's a neutral, it can stimulate the centers of the male calf also, which has to become a bull. So the problem is, this IGF-1 is a potent stimulator of the cells to cause cancer. So that is another reason why we should stay away from animal products. The chemicals are an issue also. Now, if you really think about it, people will argue that, yes, the plants should be a better diet, but what about chemicals? There are pesticides in the plants also. How can you avoid that? So there is a slide which I'm going to show you, the comparison of the plant-based diet and plant-based chemicals, and which are the water-soluble, and animal-based chemicals, which are fat-based, because animals are made out of, now the audience should know, made out of cholesterol.
Yes.
Cholesterol is all fat. So whatever chemicals do come from animals, they're going to be fat-soluble chemicals, correct? And plants, except for the nuts, they're all water-based. Fruits, vegetables, salads, beans, they're all water-based. There is no fat in there. So chemicals that we get from the plant-based diet will be water-soluble. So now look at it. There are only two kinds of chemicals, water-soluble or fat-soluble. Now, if the water-soluble chemicals come in your body, what's going to happen? You're going to drink water, you got to go.
Flush it out.
We are not camels. We cannot hold on to the water, right? So with the flushing out, the chemicals disappear. So our contact with the outside chemicals is very minimized, but not so with the fat-soluble chemicals. All the chemicals coming from the animals is all fat-soluble. So what happens? They transfer from the animal fat into your body fat. And who has fat? Everybody. Everybody has obesity. We have a lot of hidden fat because that's how our ancestors survived. They developed their genes to learn how to hold on to store the fat. When they go on for hunting for days and days, they needed that fat. So now these chemicals go from the animal's body to our body, stay dissolved. And they stay there forever. And they keep getting released day by day, little by little. That's what causes cancer.
So, if you want to live 100 years of sattvic life, of a healthy life, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, and physically healthy, please call us, join World Vegan Vision, or log into our website. And the most important thing is, if you have any questions, the website lists most commonly asked questions and answer to that. And again, I thank from the bottom of my heart Mr. H.K. Shah, Ms. Malti Shah, our outreach director Nitin Vyas, and last but not the least, Dr. Shrenik Shah, who is just not practicing medicine, but he is practicing with spirituality, a holistic medicine that can improve a human being's life inside out.